Are you looking for that unique place to either buy a gift or beef up your own collection? Well, I have the place to shop for you.
Do you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over.
Today we're at Vinterest. That's interest with a V, but they call it also Pinterest come to life. And that's really what it is. It's a whole collection, aisles and aisles of artisans and antique goods and even crafty goods, people who are super clever with normal, ordinary objects. So we're going to walk through this mall, and Erin, the manager, has shown me exactly where we need to go to look at all kinds of really cool stuff you could use for a gift, you could use in your own home to beef up your collection, or you can just find a new interest for something like a coffee pot that doesn't necessarily have to be a coffee pot. Are you a dog person, but you'd like to be a cat person? This booth is kind of cool because it has pseudo vintage in here and some vintage, like the kitty cat clock with a K. But you could also get something for your garden, like good old SF, St. Francis, also hanging out with Annabelle at my house. Or you might have something like this cool vintage bucket that you could put sticks of, or just sticks in, but you could do cotton boll sticks, you could do greenery at Christmas, you could do pussy willows in the spring. There's all kinds of stuff you could put in this other than, I believe this is an ash bucket. Really cool. Dog's gonna go to the doghouse. Also in here, do you need an Elvis beer stein? They have that. Maybe you wanna kick off football season with this turkey on Thanksgiving. You know what? Works for me. And look up here, folks, a nativity blow mold set for $7.50, which is actually a pretty good price. If you have an attic with blow molds in it, and we're talking like you put a light bulb in the bottom, a light bulb, and it lights them up. You might remember these from the 50s, 60s, 70s. If you have this in your attic or your parents' attic or your grandparents' attic, drag them out, you'll be all the rage. If you want to pay top dollar, come to a store and get them here. This is a really good vintage set. Okay, so we're gonna see lots of holiday things, we're gonna see just normal things, so let's move on to the next booth. Now here's a great example of a unique gift. This is all handcrafted, and they are meticulously designed mobiles. Some are kind of macabre, and some are just cool pieces of wood and sticks. In fact, there's driftwood in here. Excellent prices. Driftwood is all the rage. You can put it in your patio, particularly an enclosed deck or patio. Here's a really nice piece down here, and you can find these on the side of the road too, but when they're protected in a shop like this, in a booth like this, I really like it. This one's 20 bucks, excellent price. So always be on the lookout for this kind of clever, crafty item. If you're looking for a unique way to store the pillows and the blankets that gather around your seating areas, a vintage trunk is super cool. It's got a great patina on the lid, lifts right up, there's nothing in here. You throw your blankets, your pillows, your dog, if it's annoying, inside this trunk, and now it's put away. Probably not the dog, maybe the cat. Also, behind here is a really cool piece of iron. So heavy I can't pick it up. It is great for garden art. Garden art doesn't have to be a bird or a flower. It can be a really vintage, rusted out piece of metal that provides that perfect backdrop for whatever else you have going on in that spot. If you like to collect salt and pepper shakers or know someone who does, this is the kind of display you're looking for. We've got bunnies, we have owls, we have corn, because why not? We have lighthouses and fish and little fun baker dudes. I mean, this display is a great example of how you can add to a collection or even get someone started on a collection. Remember the good old days when your grandmother had bowls of plastic fruit and maybe you tried to eat them? It's more upscale now. Look at these beautiful ceramic pieces of fruit. I would actually display these, particularly at big family meals like at Thanksgiving or Easter or Christmas, or sometime when you are looking for a way to dress up your table or your centerpiece on your bar. This fruit is so much more impressive than the old school style. Right here, excellent prices, like $10 a piece. And these are heavy. So if you really wanted to take something out on your brother, this is your choice. Now, let's look at what else we have in here because it's super cool. I collect cookbooks, and I find that the best cookbooks are church cookbooks, or they could even be office cookbooks where they've taken a collection of famous recipes or famous for that office, like your specialty recipe, and put them in book form. They never fail. Now, I will warn you, the vintage cookbooks will use things like lard. They are full sugar, full salt, full fat, and they are so good. I never fail with a church cookbook recipe, ever. Now here's a great example of either completing or starting a glassware collection. A lot of these are vintage, and that means they are finer made. The glass is finer. You can see on here the lip on this, super fine. You all know how I feel about that. But it's vintage. In fact, this is they're calling it a champagne flute. It could be wine also, great for mimosas maybe. Love the green foot on this. And that's quite a collection right there. So you could actually start someone on a collection that's looking to beef up their glassware. Also, you can't go wrong with blue glass. And over here, we have kind of vintage bowls. I love bowls like this to add to a dish that you already have. Super fun. And take a look at this Atomic mid-century chip and dip bowl. That will be the talk of the party, trust me on this. Very cool, heavy, can't knock it over unless you get really out of control with your party. Nothing wrong with that. But super fun. Now, if you're looking for some sort of holiday mug idea, these kinds of shops are always great. They're not going to put something out that isn't fun or really interesting, and the prices are generally pretty good. This one's free, evidently, but love the Santa belly. Who wouldn't want to drink cocoa out of that? As I say to Jimmy, always look up, because there are cool things on the walls and up higher towards the ceiling. In this case, this wonderful piece of modern art. It's a really great price, and it's kind of a showstopper piece of art, a little bit muted, great colors, really nice piece to pick up that's less expensive than, let's say, an art gallery. And if you have someone on your gift list that deserves nothing, this is the booth for you. You can never, ever go wrong with a gift of slippers. I receive slippers, I love to give slippers, and how fun are these? You can smile, you can daisy, you can peace out. There's a howdy, there's strawberries, there's everything you can think of. Great gift idea. These kinds of booths are where I love to pick up things like garland. Much better prices than in a big box store or even sometimes online. Plus, you can see them, you can feel them. So this is shaped like a wreath, which you could do. But what I love is they also showed you what to do on this mirror up here. They've put this garland over the mirror. It's a great idea. It has a little bit of dryness in it that says fall. It has some berries in it, also fall or winter, pine cones. It's just a really fresh feel for when you're decorating your house. Look at this lifesaver garland. I mean, come on, I would never think to do that. It's genius. And if you have children or grandchildren, they will love it. And maybe lick it. Now here's a perfect example of those picks I was talking about, where you can put them down into a pitcher or ash scooper or whatever needs something in it. An untraditional use would be eucalyptus, or here's the cotton balls. Really, really great idea. A really pretty look and an unusual use in an everyday item. Now here's a great example of glassware that you could mix and match. It's kind of trendy to take all these colors, this deep green, this deep blue, this gold, vintage glassware, and mix them up on the table just to make the whole setting look more festive, more fun. People do this at wedding receptions or parties. And if you have these in your collection and you didn't know what to do with them before, that's a great idea. If you want to start a collection, or maybe use your parents' or grandparents' collection, that's how you would do it too. Now in this booth, we have a great combination of, hang with me here, mermaids, but also a one-of-a-kind idea for a gift or for your decorating. The knitted part is probably better for a gift because we have collections of the Three Pigs, Winnie the Pooh. We have all kinds of fairy tale characters. We've got down here Hansel and Gretel and the Witch, and we also have the Three Wise Men over here. Not a fairy tale, but great Christmas gift idea. And down here we have a one-of-a-kind garland idea, knitted bulbs. It's so cool. So when someone goes to all this work to knit these kinds of things, you aren't going to find those just anywhere. This would be the time and the place to get such a great and clever gift idea. Do you need a creepy doll arm that's also a planter? Apparently, this is the place to find it. And there's also legs in there too. But what I really like about this booth is it has cool vintage stuff like this presidential plate. I have a friend, and Jimmy also collects these presidential plates. Really, really cool to display. And you can't just find them anywhere. You generally have to come to a vintage place to find them. Your grandparents may have had something like this. It's a drink caddy. The glasses go right down in it, and that way you fill the glasses and you take it out to your party, whether it's in another room or outside. I love these. I have two of them. Now this one's missing a glass, and that's what you will often find in these places, but if you get this for someone as a gift, you can tell them you'll be on the lookout for the missing glass. You can even go online and look, but to find it with the caddy is a real find. And this just in, Erin, the store manager who I pointed out earlier, made this. This is called a wood barn quilt. And she did all this, y'all. I mean, come on. That is clever, clever, clever. As my friend Fran likes to say, you can never have too many napkins. But we've also talked about how finding fun napkins is a great idea for a hostess gift, host or hostess gift. Also for a cocktail hour at your house. For instance, in the South, honey can be a term of endearment or a dire warning. Great thing to have sitting out. So if you ever see a napkin display like this and the price is good, just grab a couple of packs. Great for your next gathering or as a gift. Another great thing is metal art, and you can see someone has done some really clever working of metal here. We've got golfing, motorcycle riding, sports, guitar playing, but on top of that we also have really interesting flour, sugar canisters. Love that. Here is a great idea. This is actually a scale using metal baskets, but you could put anything in there that you might want to weigh, but you could also do your onions or your fruit in these, or you could just use them for decorating purposes. You could throw in to these baskets collections of pine cones or yarn or anything that you have a lot of that needs to be displayed and will hold up to the gaps in the frame. Perfect way to display. Something I'm always on the lookout for are brass candle holders. Maybe it'll come with a candle like this one and a little handle. But if you just see them like this, pick them up. I like to do a variety of sizes. In fact, this is a great display of what you could do with a variety of sizes on your own table if you want to decorate for a fancy dinner, a romantic dinner. I tend to not get matchy-matchy things. I tend to go with things of different sizes and shapes. It just makes the whole setting far more interesting. I'm also on the lookout for baskets when I shop. These are really great shapes, and you can put dishes in this and take it out to the patio, or you can just put collections of things in here. I like this one because it is a little more flat and has a different weave in it. They don't have to be vintage. In fact, the newer ones probably hold up better, but these are always a great idea, and you can hang these on the wall when they're not in use. And so you end up with wall art that is actually usable. And sometimes you'll find artisan booths like this that have word art, and those are great housewarming gifts. Don't overlook someone's hard work in a booth like this. It can pay off in a big way. And if you want to show off your hometown, gifts like this are wonderful. Towels, hand towels, pillows, t-shirts, mugs. I often suggest a welcome basket featuring your hometown for someone who's moving in from out of state. They will love it. Well, I don't know about you, but I have had a blast going through these booths at Vinterest. Great use of Scrabble letters, am I right? And as Erin would tell you, there are 3 shops in Tennessee, 1 in Nashville, 2 in Chattanooga. And if you can't make it to Tennessee but know of other shops or stores like this with booths, list them down below, and that way you can spread the love in your own area.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.